Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the TradeStation Masterclass. Right now, we're going to talk about platform essentials, specifically Radarscreen and Hotlist, which is a cool combination of applications inside of TradeStation. So before we get started, let's go through some of the disclosures. Just keep in mind that every symbol and idea that I talk about, it's in no way a recommendation. It is actually just an example, and it's done for demonstration purposes. Keep in mind that active trading is not suitable for everyone, and that past historical performance is no guarantee of future results. For additional information on these disclosures, please visit www.tradestation.com/important-information, and that link appears right here on this PowerPoint slide. All right, guys, thank you for being here. Let me go ahead and, did I introduce myself? My name is Jesus Nava, Director of Client Training and Education for TradeStation Securities. For compliance reasons, I do have to say that at the beginning of every class, even though I know that many of you have been members of TradeStation for many years already. So let's go ahead and switch over to my TradeStation platform. Here we go. And I'm going to open up Radarscreen. In our Radarscreen session, we talked about, inserting symbols and monitoring industry sectors and stuff like that. So we do have a class that shows how to organize your symbols within the Radarscreen application. But in addition to adding the symbols of your choosing or the industry sectors of your choosing, you can also combine hot lists with Radarscreen. The reason why this came about was because we needed a way for traders to be presented with symbols that they probably hadn't thought about. And based on a specific criteria, because one of the nice things about the hot list is that it identifies symbols that are meeting certain criteria and are symbols that sometimes are foreign to us. I mean, a lot of those symbols are foreign to me. So this brings up the possibility of additional trading opportunities. Of course, there are some of you that would like to stick to the ones that you select yourself. And a lot of times I find so many interesting price movements by just looking at the hot list that is incredible. The problem was this. Let me open up another workspace here just to explain. I'm going to open up the hot list on this second workspace. Okay, let me resize this. Let me make the font. I think we can go a little bit bigger here. So format window. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure the resizing here, it's a little off, but we'll use a 12. All right. So here's my hot list. This is my hot list. It's set to percent change one day. So these are the stocks that have changed the most in one day or from the close of yesterday. You see the very top here is GCT, which I'm not sure what it does. And it's up 186%. The last traded price is $44.98 and has a net change of $29 for the one day, which is yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday, yes. From yesterday, this stock jumped $29. That was the net change. Right now it's trading at 44. So something happened to it. Now this is when I say that you are presented with stocks that have certain characteristic or certain behavior that brings them to the top. Maybe this is a symbol that you wouldn't want to trade. What I'm saying is that, yeah, your attention goes to it, and then you start doing some research, and then you make the determination whether you want to trade it or not. Had not been for the hot list, I wouldn't have known about this GCT symbol that is right here at the top of the hot list. I'm not implying that this is a good trading opportunity, but it is a characteristic, it is movement, it is something that is happening to the stock that brings it to the top of a list. The hot list is an application that scans all the symbols in all different exchanges. Oh, this is odd. That was kind of hidden up there. Okay, so over here on the left, you can see that we have equities, index options, and stock options. So there's no futures supported yet instead of the hot list. But with equities, we have a lot of opportunities. Equities, lowest exchanges, so we have Amex, Arca, NASDAQ, and NYSE. So they're all combined. Of course, you can be specific or filter by specific exchange, but for the most part, it just combines all the different exchanges. It scans, the universe of stocks, and it gives you a list. Now, the list right here, I've set it to 100. By default, it only gives you the top 25, which is okay. But sometimes when I combine the hot list with my radar screen, I like to increase the number of results. The bad thing, or at least I'm not going to call it the bad thing because the hot list is a great window, but the limitation here on the hot list is that you cannot add any other technical studies. Like, for example, if I wanted to track these 100 symbols, but at the same time, due to their percent change increase, I want to somehow find out if they're trading at their highest high, like close to the highest high that they reached today, or if the price has corrected from a higher high. Because this, symbol GCT is trading at 46.50, but we don't know if that symbol actually reached $50. We don't know if this last price is actually the highest that it's been today. So I want to know, how much has this stock retraced from that highest high? The reason that it's right at this level doesn't mean that it's at the highest that it's been. So I can quickly, go here to a chart. Let me bring up a chart and do that. Let's go here to apps and chart analysis. Let's put it here on the right-hand side. All right. Okay. And here's a clear example. This is GCT, by the way. GCT, I can click here. I just linked the two windows together. The name of the company is on the title bar. It says Giga Cloud Technology. All right, seems like it's a technology company. It's listed on NASDAQ. This is a 5-minute chart. Notice how the price is $45 at the moment, but you can see that at one time, it was at $58. So there's been some correction in the price. So it'd be interesting to know, okay, this is the top 100, but out of all these, which one is the one that is still hitting that highest high? This one in particular is down $13 from the highest high. So maybe that percent change in the upper side is not as strong as it was, a few minutes ago. Earlier in the day, it was also trading in the 30s. So we see that this is the type of window that we want to always be keeping an eye on. So not only can you add custom calculations. So I did the calculation here of the highest high and wanted to see, okay, how much of a retracement has there been? That's a calculation that I cannot put into the radar screen. I mean, into the hot list. I cannot do the following. I could very easily, highlight all the 100 symbols, which I've done before. I click on the very first one, scroll down. Why isn't this scrolling down even further? Maybe because there's no more. I believe the max, I believe there's 82 symbols, which is okay. I can take these 82 symbols, come back here to my radar screen, and I can put them in here, right click and paste. Uh-oh, that didn't work. Let me try it one more time. I'm gonna click on the very first one, scroll down. Why didn't that work? That was odd. Then right click, copy, maybe because I didn't copy. That's what happened. I'm gonna right click and paste. There we go. So yeah, I can put, those 82 symbols that the hot list found, and I can put them here instead of radar screen. The only problem with doing that is that this doesn't update, and it doesn't filter the symbols anymore, because the symbols here are shifting up and down. So some symbols that make the list because they are the highest percentage move may be dropped because maybe some other symbols are introduced, or maybe they're not at the highest, level that they had reached today. So it's not a dynamic filtering window anymore. Once you copy the symbol from hot list and you transfer them into Radarscreen, they're static. These are the same 82 symbols I'll be looking at today, tomorrow, and next week if I don't, change this Radarscreen. So we wanted to do something that bridged the two applications. The hot list because it introduces new symbols into the mix, and Radarscreen because it allows you to do custom calculations. So you have the best of both worlds into one application. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to come over here to the second workspace and I'm going to, I'll just leave it open just in case. I'm going to come over here to where I have my Radarscreen. Let me go ahead and right click on page 1. See, I'm not able to delete because I need a page 2. So I'm gonna right click on page 1. And this is the way that you access the functionality of a hot list inside of Radarscreen. Add a new page. We can do a hot list. We can do a page on symbol lists, a blank new page. But the one that I want right now is a hot list. I'm going to do hot list here. And that's it. This opens up hot lists inside of Radarscreen. Interesting that I can just go here. The default, it's 25 symbols, but I'm going to raise it to 100. And you can see that GCT is at the very top. When I did my Radarscreen class last time, we added some default studies here that I have on the right-hand side. So you can already see that I have volume average, average true range, and ADX, which are technical indicators that are part of Radarscreen and could not have gone inside of hot list. But now, since I have hot lists inside of Radarscreen, I can make that combination. Let me do something here, because I started talking about this idea of looking at the percent change numbers. We can see that GCT is kind of in its own at its own level. A stock that increases in price by 180% from one day to the next is impressive. But I want to know, out of all these, there must be about 82 symbols here. Well, there's 100. Now, why is it that in my hot list itself, let me make this bigger. What's going on here? Where's my scroll bar? I don't see a scroll bar here so that I can scroll using my mouse wheel. My hot list here goes down to 82. That is odd. Equities, all percent gainers one day, 100. So this is 25. This is 100. Where's my scroll bar? Is that a bug? Because notice how the hot list only goes down to 82. That's weird. And now this one goes down to 85. It seems like there's more, but this doesn't want to scroll down. Let me make the font smaller. Maybe that problem came in because I changed the font. Yeah, look at that. Now it goes down to 94, and I don't have a way to scroll. I'm not sure if you guys are opening up the hot list on your own trade stations, but are you having the same issue that I am? That there's no scroll bar on the hot list? Let me go ahead and close the application and reopen it. Here we go, hot list. Yeah, you see, no scroll bar. Okay, so Rich has one, and this goes, yeah, it's 100 symbols, but I don't have scroll. Maybe I just need a restart. Maybe that's what happened on my side. Let's not stress about it. Let me go back here into this hot list inside of Radarscreen because this is pretty cool. I want to know how much have they corrected? I know they still made the percent change. This is percent change for one day, but you can see the high up here. There's a column that reflects the high. For GCT, the high is 58.37, but the last is 42. So we're talking about a $16 difference. Let me take this column and bring it next to the high. Not sure if you notice how I did that. I clicked on the column header to highlight the column, and then I clicked on it again and I held it to drag it over to different location. Now I can take a look at the two prices, last and high, and see the drop, the correction. You know, right here we have this other symbol, lottery.com. The symbol is LTRY. It's up 71%, but look at the price. Last price is 63 cents. The high is 66. So there's not a big difference in there. We're talking about pennies. However, the symbol made the list because of its price change. How much? The net change was $26 or 26 cents. I'm sorry, 26 cents. So this is a stock that was trading at 40 cents yesterday. Pretty cool, huh? So let's do something. Let's go ahead and make a calculation here that tells me the percentage drop from the highest high. And notice that this is something that only Radarscreen supports. So I'm combining the two concepts. This is a list of 100 symbols that have increased the most. I just want to know how far from the highest high are they, or at least the high of today, maybe not the highest high forever, but let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to click on the plus just to add a custom calculation. I'm going to go to custom one line because I want to add, I'm going to move it up next to high, my own calculation. All right, so this is my custom calculation. I'm going to right click, studies, and edit for all symbols. And in the inputs, what I'm going to calculate here is high minus the close. If you do high minus the close, this gives you the difference between the high of the day. Hold on, because here's another thing. You know, if we do the high, is it the high of the day or is it the high of the 5-minute bar? We know that all these historical indicators are using the time frame. So you may be inclined of using the high, but that's not going to be the high of today. It's going to be the high of the 5-minute bar, which is not what you want, you know? So let me go ahead and put in high D of the current session. I think that's done by open parentheses, 0, close parentheses. And the close would be the real-time price. Let me see if this works. And I want to take the, whatever this difference is, let me put that all in parentheses. And I'm going to divide it by the high. I think that's how I get a percentage. Let me put this into the chat right here. And if you guys feel that it's not accurate or not correct, let me know. I'm taking the high of the day, subtracting the close, that gives me the reversal amount, if any, and divide that by the high, that gives me a percentage. Let me click OK here. And let me do this. Go to edit one column for all studies. I'm going to go to the style. And instead of same as symbol, I'm going to turn that into a percentage. And the percentage, we'll make it, this is centered, but I will make it, yeah, right justified, that's fine. I don't need decimals on my percentage. I just want to have like a round estimate. I'm going to click OK. And this is what I've got. So you can see the percentages all over the place. You can see that the top symbol, GCT, yeah, it's at the top of the list with almost a 180% change in price. But if you look at the custom one-line calculation, we're talking about a 35% drop from the highest, or from the high of today. So this is a stock that, yeah, it's at the top of the list because it's increased in price. But don't forget that it's probably corrected a significant amount, in the amount of 35%. If you take the highest high, which is 58, in fact, let me do that right now. If you take the high of today, which is 58.37, and let's multiply that. Yeah, let's multiply that by the percentage. 0.33, it gives you $19 drop. If we look at the net change, well, the net change is not going to reflect that. So if we take minus the high of 58, gives you about 39. Okay. That's the last traded price, but it's from the high though. So yeah. So is the calculation off? Let me do that again. 58.37. This thing is that this is changing dramatically as we speak. Times 0.35 or 0.36 is like $20. $20 from the high. That doesn't quite make sense. So maybe my formula is not right. To something. Let me go here to, let me customize this first. I'm going to go to studies. Let's see, studies, edit. Let's go to inputs. What happened here? Custom one line for all symbols. Let's do high D 0. And let's change the style to semi-symbol. So high D, we can see that it matches the high. Okay, let's do that one more time. We're going to do inputs, and we're going to do the high D 0 minus the close. And then we're going to divide that by, oh, I know what I did wrong. Can anybody tell what I did wrong? And I just noticed right now because I'm dividing it by the high. Originally, I had set the high, and it's not the high that I want. Remember that when you do these custom one-line indicators, they are based on the time frame or the interval that is displayed in Radarscreen. So I was careful in doing the high of the day on the very first part of the formula, but I didn't do it at the very end. So I'm taking the high of the day as a reference, but I'm taking the high of the last 5-minute bar, and that's what's throwing my calculation off. Let's make this the same as the other one, and this should do it. Let me go ahead and copy this formula again. All right, now if I click OK, let me turn that into a percentage. Style, percent, no decimals, maybe 1 decimal, that's okay. 25% drop. So now if I bring up my calculator, let me do that one more time. I take the 5837 times the 0.25, which is the percentage, that gives me $14. And if you take $14 minus the high of today, gives you 43.77, which is a little bit closer to what it is right now. It's just that these values are changing as we speak, and it may be a little bit different once we reach the calculation. But you can see that, you can see my idea, what I'm thinking about. You know, this is it's at the top of the list. It's increased in price significantly, but you can see that it's corrected by about 30% from that highest high. How can I change the color of the data? One asks. I mean, if stochastic is below 80, get colors in green. You know what? That's a question that we can answer during Ask the Experts. I encourage you to join us on Tuesdays or Fridays at 11:30, and I can show you how to change that. It seems like it's a simple change. We have to make the indicator. We have to modify the programming code, and we can do it for sure in one of our sessions there, okay? So here I have this custom one line, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort by it. Notice what I'm doing. I'm sorting the hot list by another criteria. And if you look at these ones right here, you can see the ones that have a 0% or close to 0% is because they are currently trading at their highest level. So they're reaching that level at this moment. If I want to confirm, let's go ahead and do that. Let me bring up a chart here. All right. Let me link. And let's take a look at this one right here. That's not loading up. This is LRN. This is linked. I want this one. Oh, I had changed my settings here. Let me go back to page. I think I had set my, where is it? I think it's settings, preferences, general. Where is it? I think it's the option. Yeah, here it is. Use double click to update window link. I'm going to use single click, which is the default one. So now, this symbol right here, you see the price increase from yesterday? It's still very significant. I mean, it's not 180%, but we have a 4%. So those are things that you can do here. Let's do one more filtering. Okay, so maybe this is not so impressive. You know, it's not as impressive as the 180% price increase. We know that it's trading at the high of today, so there may be some potential of either riding it as it corrects or enjoying the ride as it goes up. Whichever way you think it's going to go, that's something that you'll have to decide. But it's just interesting that we can do these types of ranking and sorting based on the hot list. Now, I can do some additional filtering here, and I can say, okay, this is the 100 symbols that have the highest price percent change, but I want that. I'm going to use percent change one day to be greater than, I don't want this to be greater than 10%. So notice that I'm using the filter bar right here at the top of Radarscreen to filter my hot list to only give me the ones that are higher than 10%. And at the same time, they're sorted by the percentage that I calculated. So if you look at the very top, we have this symbol, HSCS, which is trading close to the higher high. It's about 2% away from the highest high, but still has a percentage change of 20%. Currently trading at $2.66. Yesterday, it closed at $2.22. Maybe the price may not be so attractive. If you look at volume, that's another filtering criteria. Look at volume. It's only traded, you know, it's only traded. Well, this is not daily. Let me set this to daily. I'm going to highlight all the symbols and I'm going to make them daily. You can see that volume, you know, it's not as high as I would have expected, you know, considering that it's a stock that, actually this changed a little bit. I don't have volume here for HSCS. Let me try to reload this. I don't know why volume is not coming through. Not enough data. Interesting. So this symbol doesn't have enough data. Is this a symbol that just started trading? I don't know. Maybe. Let's look at just regular volume and see. Let me add volume today. Volume today. I'll add it. Let's move it down all the way to the bottom. So today, the HSCS keeps on going to the bottom. Volume today, what's wrong with this? Okay, volume today for HS, it's about 1,400,000 shares. Not bad, but we can have another filter up here that says, okay, I want the ones that have changed greater than 10. And now I want volume today to be greater than, I don't know, 1 million. There we go. So now we have multiple filters. Let's recap. We have These are the top 100 symbols that have the most price increase. They're currently being sorted by how far away are they from the highest high. So notice that HSCS, the one we were looking at, which was at the very top, now is symbol on the 5th location because the price is kind of turning down now. It's not all the way at the highest high. We have this one right here, Axum Therapeutics, that it's trading very close to the highest high. We've seen the price move down. So at this point, we have to make a decision whether this price is going up or down, and then trade accordingly, based on your outlook. But you can see that there's a big increase in price. In fact, this increased about 40% from the close of yesterday, very close to the high of today. And volume right now is set to 17 million shares traded. That's pretty impressive, right? So it's pretty cool that I can combine the two concepts of hot lists and also with Radarscreen. Let's take a look at another example. I can leave this running here and get a feel of what other symbols are coming through. The nice thing is that this hot list doesn't stop filtering and doesn't stop ranking. So for example, if any of these symbols start, dropping and getting closer to what the price of yesterday was, they'll be dropped from the list. They don't fit the criteria anymore. So this is the nice thing about the hot list, is that you're always in real time. It's always giving you the most updated list, and then you can add other filters just to narrow it down a little bit further. If you were working just in the hot list, the things that we just did are not possible. The custom indicator is not possible. The filters right here at the top are not possible. So that's why the combination just makes perfect sense. Let's right click and go to add a new hot list. Now we can work with any type of filters here. Let's see. Let's see. We can do the same with approaching, the 52-week highs or 52-week lows. Those are things that you're probably monitoring. Let's see, approaching their 52-week highs. Let's do it by percentage. So you can see that these are very close or approaching their 52-week high. Let me turn this into a weekly time frame so we can see a full year. Okay, and what is the high here? Let's see. Let me look at GIS. It's trading at $78. Oh, so it is approaching their 52-week high. The reason why it's approaching the 52-week high is because last week, the high was 78.24 and it's 78.20. So it wasn't like, the high of the 52 weeks happened a long time ago. It's just that it happened last week and it's approaching it. Maybe not as significant as if a stock hadn't traded at that level and is trading at that level again. But this could be interpreted in so many different ways. Last week, yeah, it reached the highest high in the past 52 weeks. This week, it's trying to push it further up. And maybe it can, who knows? We see the activity last week. It had some strength on the upside and it drove the price to 78.24. But then the sellers jumped in and they drove the prices lower. Today, something different's happening. It opened pretty close to where it closed yesterday, and it seemed like the sellers had the advantage for part of the day, but now it's recovered. That's why there's a tail there. I'm not sure when it happened. We can look at an intraday chart to see when in the day the sellers drove the price down, but now it seems like the buyers are pushing it up. 78.21.22 and is inching up as we speak. GIS is still out here at the very top, really close to the 52-week high, but then you decide, well, the 52-week high happened yesterday, so whatever was going to happen by reaching that new high, maybe it's already factored into the price. That's something that it's up for interpretation. But let's go ahead and take a look at next symbol. Oh, take a look at this one. So this one, the 52-week high, I'm not sure when it happened. Maybe we need a column here that gives us the 52-week high so that we can have some sort of a reference point. We can do that right here. Let me resize some of these columns. All right. And I'm going to just go to studies, add studies. And I believe there's one column that gives us the 52-week high. Let's go ahead and see. Here, 52-week high. Let's add it, and I'll move it down to the last. So, all right. So you can see that, yeah, these are really close of hitting that 52-week high. Of course, we have no, I don't think, I mean, I suppose that we can create an indicator that plots the date of when this 52-week high was reached, but that's something that we can do in a later class. But it's pretty cool that we can do these, hot list and radar screen combination. All right, so Rich says we have a hot list bar under settings in Radarscreen. Let's go settings. Hot list bar is darkened, it's grayed out. That's strange. Okay, the reason why it's probably grayed out is because you don't have a hot list. So you first have to add the hot list to Radarscreen. For example, right click, add new page, hot lists. And then when you go to settings, you can hide or display the hot list bar. The hot list bar is right here. These two rows of information. You have asset, exchange, activity, and results. And then you have equities, all the activity that you can select inside of the hot list. If you just have a page with Radarscreen information and I go to settings, then see how hot list is grayed out because it's only available once you put in a hot list inside of Radarscreen, okay? All right, that's my class for today. I just wanted to show you this cool thing of combining hot lists with a Radarscreen that I think makes a lot of sense, especially if you're looking for stocks and new trading opportunities on things that you didn't know of. And maybe you want to get away from the usual suspects that everyone trades. Maybe this is a great way to find those trading opportunities using the hot list, but at the same time, being able to add your own custom filters and things that you may be looking at, okay? Guys, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for joining Masterclass one more time. And I want to wish everyone a great weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday at 12:30 in our next Masterclass session, okay? Great having you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.